We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for Jacks, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting Jacks.
Hello and welcome into the Sporting Jacks Report. I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up, we break down the playoff race in the USL Super League, how a program in our area is using soccer to keep kids safe and healthy after school, and how the FA Cup Finals brought a first-of-its-kind celebration. But we start with some big news this week from Sporting Jacks, the signing of the first players in club history. On Wednesday, the club introduced a pair of players as the first to sign with the club, defender Georgia Brown and attacking midfielder Ashlyn Puerta. These are all young players who the club hopes will be long-term fixtures in a Sporting Jacks kit. At a press conference at River Place Tower on Wednesday, the players were introduced. These are the first of more than 20 signings that will occur between now and the start of the first training camp in July. Each of the players has a local connection. Here's a little bit more on these two signees. Brown has played the past 2 seasons with Florida Elite's USL League team. Last season, she was named the Defender of the Year in the league. That accounts for over 90 teams nationwide. She scored 11 goals, which is a lot for a center back. She played her college soccer at USF, where she recently graduated with a degree in biomedical science. She's from England, but also has Scottish roots. She was just called up to the Scotland U23s. Puerta has just finished her freshman season at Florida State. To have played in every match as a freshman at one of the top programs in the nation speaks volumes about her ability. She scored 4 goals and added 5 assists for the Seminoles. Also scored a goal and assisted on another in the Seminoles NCAA tournament win over Samford. She's played for the U.S. at the U15 and U16 levels, as well as the U17s. She was just called up for the U20 CONCACAF squad.
Honestly, from the minute I stepped in here, even though I'm English, it felt like everybody around me was here to support me. And I've done a lot working and helping coach with the little girls and the younger players coming up through the ranks. And just the way they see and they look at you, sometimes the things they say to me, I'm like, oh, this is what I want to be. They're like, you are my inspiration. That's something I want to be for them. So yeah, it's so exciting. And just all of that community, the coaches I've had here in Jacksonville, it's been great.
I've always wanted to play professionally, and so this really turning this dream into a reality, it's been very exciting, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be part of this program, and they seem like they really know what they're doing, and all the staff is great, and I'm just excited to get going.
There's going to be a lot to learn for them for sure, which I'm hoping the senior pros will help guide them and mentor them along the way. But they have, like I talked about, they have the right mentality, they've got the personality, and they are the right character to bring into the squad. And they're going to be great in the dressing room, they're going to be great on the field for us, and I'm just really excited to see what they can accomplish.
Exciting time for the club for sure. Time now for the USL Championship Game of the Week, and this week we feature a matchup between 2 of the top teams in the league. One from the East, Charleston Battery. They've won 5 straight coming into this one, hosting the San Antonio FC, who had led the Western Conference early in the season. To Patriots Point we go, and this one would be quite a showcase for the home team. Early goings. Just the 22nd minute, Charleston on the attack in the dark kits. Penalty called in the area, and that will lead to a PK. And it's delivered by who else? Cal Jennings, who has been an absolute find. The former Tampa Bay Rowdy makes it 1-0. Just 3 minutes later, on a ball that bounces through and off a San Antonio defender, it's an own goal, but it still counts 2-0 Charleston. Second half now. 58th minute, that man again, Cal Jennings, after a ball gets deflected out. Look at all the opportunities Charleston has here to continue to attack. They just keep going and going and going, relentless in the attack. And Jennings would be the man who gets on the end of this one finally. And on the doorstep, slots it in to make it a 3-0 Charleston lead. A goal per game right now for Cal Jennings. Then here comes John Klein on as a substitute in the 88th minute. We show him coming on because it doesn't take him long to impact the game. Once again, Charleston, even with the lead, the aggressors here, and Klein will clean it up for the goal. 4-0, Charleston with the victory. What a dominant performance at home for Charleston. And we now welcome in Mauricio Ruiz. Mal, this was a statement game for the Battery.
It really was, because it's not uncommon to talk about the Battery winning by 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, they do score a lot, and Cal Jennings getting a brace, right? Like, that's not news that the Battery are capable of doing that. But to do it against San Antonio, a team that was very, very, they've struggled as of late. They're winless in 3 games. They lost two back-to-back, including this Battery game. So something kind of going on, maybe a little bit of fatigue or injuries. But the Battery made a huge statement, claiming the #1 seed right now after 10 games, and in 9 games in their case. Loudoun United in second place has 10. It's a huge statement to be able to get a Western Conference opponent to come into your town, into your home stadium, and for you to absolutely pounce on them. The Battery are in it. Signing Cal Jennings in the offseason from the Rowdies was a huge statement. And he's doing what he does. He scores goals, and now he's leading the league with 9 goals. And the sky's the future for Cal and this Battery team if they continue on this road.
All right, thank you, Mal. Let's take a look at the standings right now, starting in the Western Conference with New Mexico United now on top, with Tulsa second, and San Antonio, after their hot start to the season, sliding back to third. El Paso is another team to watch. They're playing exceedingly well right now and in position perhaps about a third of the way through the year to start to make a charge as things play out. In the Eastern Conference, Charleston has got to be considered the best team in the league right now, even though they are level on points with Loudoun United. They are certainly in the best form. 6 straight victories for Charleston. Lou City always hanging around near the top. We'll also point out that Miami has crawled up to 7th. This is a team that was dead last season, but they have made a little bit of gains and moved up to 7th place in the table right now. Remember, we're a long way to go to the playoffs, but the top 8 in each conference will make it to the postseason. Also this past week, Sporting Jacks' USL League 2 team kicked off the season. This is a pre-professional league for college-age stars who want to play against other top players in the summertime. After a season-opening loss away to Brevard SC, Sporting Jacks held the opener at Mandarin High School. The W League team on hand to watch the squad. This is a team in the League 2 squad that battled. This was a hard-fought game. Up 1-0 with a late goal in the early stages of the second half, and things continued for Sporting Jacks. 2 goals for Ethan Newsom in the ball game. It winds up a 2-2 draw, and a lot more to look forward to for this team.
Yeah, it means a lot. It's a great opportunity to be out here and to get on the pitch and to score a goal. I couldn't ask for any more, and all glory to God, and I hope to keep things going once again, Thank you, guys. Yeah, we love it out here. Past 2 years, even this year, the fans coming out, supporting us, it always pushes the guys. It pushes me, so we hope to see them more at the home games and keep things going.
USLW League is also underway. Sporting Jacks off to a roaring start. After a 2-0 win at Tallahassee Reckoning, Sporting Jacks won 8-0 at Kings Hammer FC Sun City, and they will continue the season away at FC Miami City later today. There are high expectations for this squad, and a number of the players are hoping to catch the eye of Sporting Jacks Super League head coach Stacey Balaam for the future. Mauricio, let's talk about this one now. Do you expect more players from this squad to be playing professionally in the future?
Cole, I think it's an easy association to make, but remember, they were dominant last year. Absolutely dominant, and that's a team that had Ashlyn Puerta and Georgia Brown playing and really anchoring, them on the defense and up top. So they picked up kind of where they've left off in a way, but you're absolutely right. And once they realize that the opportunity that Georgia and Ashley are setting forth, that you can play for this squad and get the opportunity to get signed and be seen at least. And I know Coach Stacey has been watching them. It's going to give them the extra juice of consistency now, right? It's a team that can go out there and absolutely hammer other teams, but can they be consistent throughout the season? It's really the difference between great players and pro players is the consistency. There's a lot of great players out there, that are not able to turn out day in, week in and week out. When you become a pro, that's what you have to do. So it'll be interesting to see which players can maintain the consistency of this early season.
Well, now to the Premier League, with the final match day of the season set for tomorrow. While the title's been settled and the teams being relegated to the championship are already decided, there are a lot of teams still battling for spots in Europe. There could be as many as 9 Premier League teams playing in Europe next season. Mauricio, this has been a wild season in so many ways. Storylines everywhere.
There really is. And if you want to pull on any of those threads, you can kind of go down a huge rabbit hole, because and you didn't mention Fulham. Fulham that's their best year in the Premier League. This is the most amount of points that Fulham have pulled together in the Premier League this year. So, I mean, where do we go here, right? I mean, I think I would love to kind of keep the focus on the Champions League. I mean, to me, the game of the weekend, Cole, is going to be Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. Those two, that game is going to decide the fate of a lot of what happens to Aston Villa, to Newcastle, to each other, obviously. And after the last win that Nottingham Forest had against West Ham, you can see that players saying one more, because they still hold their own faith. And if they beat Chelsea and everything else works in their favor, Chelsea is effectively out of the top 6. Aston Villa, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest taking those last 3 spots. So yeah, wonderful season, different kind of excitement, different kind of storylines. And I think what it means for the Premier League is that it's probably the most competitive league in the world, most balanced league in the world, maybe you would say it, because there's not a huge separation of where teams stand. So interesting. I think it's been a great year, and we're going to miss the Premier League here in a little bit.
No doubt about that. Hey, we invite you to join us for a Champions League watch party at Island Wing Company on Southside Boulevard. We'll be there with prizes and giveaways, plus an opportunity for you to celebrate with your fellow soccer fans. May 31st at Island Wing Company on Southside. We will see you there. Season tickets are on sale right now for Sporting Jack's inaugural season in the USL Super League. The season begins in August, and tickets start as low as $10 per game for students and go up to the field seats and premium hospitality. You can even pay for your season tickets with an interest-free installment plan. Get all the benefits of season ticket ownership from your first payment. Be a part of the first professional women's team in Jacksonville. Go to sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK to join the movement. Still to come, Becky Burleigh joins us to look at the final week of the regular season in the USL Super League. That's next as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. As the USL Super League season heads to the playoffs, you can catch every game streaming on Peacock. This afternoon, Brooklyn hosts Carolina at 2. Then tonight, a pair of 7:30 kicks. Fort Lauderdale and Dallas, and the Tampa Bay Sun host DC Power. Just 1 week to go as the playoffs approach, and it's all on Peacock. Let's get to the highlights in the USL Super League, starting with DC Power and Spokane Zephyr. We saw DC last week put up a good fight, even though they're already out of it. This week, more of the same, but just too much from maybe the player of the year, Amina Ekic. She has been fantastic for Spokane. She gets a goal there. Then Ekic on the corner kick. Here comes the Olympico all the way in for the goal. Spokane wins 2-1 away. Big win for the Zephyrs. They fight for postseason positioning. Next up, we go to Lexington for Lexington SC and Fort Lauderdale United. The only goal of the match, turns out goes as an own goal on a ball that's knocked around out front, then goes in. Fort Lauderdale will take it. A 1-0 victory for Fort Lauderdale United, trying to stay alive in the playoff chase. Carolina Ascent hosting Tampa Bay Sun. Just the second minute, Eli Hutchinson puts it away and gives an early lead for the home team. But Tampa Bay would not roll over. 23rd minute. Look at Tampa Bay in transition here. Flu Nielsen, she has been a real contributor for the Sun. She puts it away to level things at a goal apiece. And that is the way it ends. 1-1 Carolina and Tampa Bay. Let's take a look at the standings as we come down to the final week of the USL Super League season. It is tight. Already we see Carolina and Tampa Bay have clinched spots in the postseason, but Spokane, Dallas, Brooklyn, and Fort Lauderdale are all still alive. Zephyr on 41 points, Dallas at 40. If those two squads win in the final week, they are in with their results. Brooklyn and Fort Lauderdale trying to close. All right, we now welcome in Becky Burleigh. Becky, let's start with the big news this past week from Sporting Jacks, the signings of Georgia Brown and Ashlyn Puerta. What do you think?
I think they're great picks. You know, it's so cool to have some sort of local ties. And I think that's happening, you know, with Ashlyn playing at FSU, with Georgia being at USF. I mean, that's cool because some people might have familiarity with them coming from the college ranks, and to be able to see them in the pro setting, I think is going to be great. But the two of those players are good signings because, you know, Georgia has a presence. I mean, she definitely has a presence. She's going to be somebody that they can rely on from the beginning. And then I think with Ashlyn, that's going to be something that will be interesting to see develop. Like, these are what putting together a roster looks like in terms of who is going to emerge as the players that are not just the first signings, but are the founders of this club in terms of their ability to impact right away.
Do you think that being one of the first players signed brings with it more responsibility?
You know, they're always going to be known as the first players. I mean, I can even think back to, you know, Florida soccer. We talk about our first signees. And so I think they're always going to be known as that. And there's kind of a pride that's taken in that, in terms of like, I started something. And so for me, there is a little bit of ambassadorship that goes with that.
Let's take a closer look at the playoff chase in the USL Super League. What are you seeing right now as we get down to the wire?
Well, it really just shows how much every game matters. You know, that Fort Lauderdale DC Power game ended up in a draw. And I'm sure for Fort Lauderdale, they were hoping to get 3 points out of that. And so it just shows how every single game matters when you come down the stretch. And it matters during the season too, but you just don't see the urgency in that time period. But now, like, man, heat is on for some of these teams.
All right, let's shift our focus now to the U.S. women's national team. Emma Hayes naming the roster for a couple of friendlies coming up. So many storylines all up and down this roster.
There are so many storylines on this roster. You know, to have a 32-year-old in Lola Bonta make her debut, like, that's unheard of. I can't remember that ever happening. But I think that brings some excitement to who's in form in the NWSL. And even some of the people who aren't on this roster, you sort of think about like their performances in the NWSL season, and that matters. And I think Emma's making a clear statement that it does matter how you're playing with your club right now. But, you know, Carrie Abello, as a first-time player, she's playing at Orlando and has had a tremendous career there so far, and it's not going unnoticed.
All right, good stuff, Becky. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again next week. If you sign up for season tickets now for the USL Super League season, you'll receive a limited edition inaugural season scarf. Be a part of the first pro women's team in Jacksonville history. Go to sportingjacks.com or use the QR code on your screen for more. Still to come, our youth soccer spotlight, how a local organization is using the game in an after-school program. That's next as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. The inaugural Sporting Jacks kit has been unveiled, and now you can order your own. Use the QR code on your screen to order your official Sporting Jacks shirt. You can also go to sportingjacks.com/shop to buy other merchandise. Official team gear available at sportingjacks.com. It's time now for the Youth Soccer Spotlight presented by the Bearded Pig Barbecue. Emerson Burris is here. Emerson, you visited a after-school program this week, the Sporting Jacks in Florida. You lead are helping to support.
That's exactly right, Cole. Sporting Jacks is doing more than just building a pro soccer team. They're building a community. Their free clinics in Arlington, the Northwest Side, and West Augustine are creating safe spaces for local kids to grow, learn, and thrive. Here's a closer look at how the club is making an impact far beyond the scoreboard.
Okay, 2 claps if you're listening.
On weekday afternoons in West Augustine, you'll find kids running drills, playing games, and finding a place to belong. At the American Legion, Sporting Jacks and Florida Elite Soccer Academy are bringing free soccer clinics to life.
Well, obviously the club's growing massively. The academy and everything that's going around is just growing so quick with the pro teams and all the younger sides, everything that's going on. I feel like for me as a coach, it's a great opportunity to get involved, to take pride in developing players.
It's not just about soccer. Students come straight from school to the American Legion for homework help, emotional support, and healthy activity. The goal, developing not just athletes, but well-rounded kids.
When we go to soccer at our school, it's not just about soccer. We have to do reading logs And like they teach us about our emotions.
My favorite part about soccer is when we play like games against teams or drills.
It's all made possible through a partnership with the American Legion, an organization with a century-long commitment to supporting children and youth. Together, they're creating a balanced environment that helps meet kids' physical, emotional, and educational needs.
We're here to try and make sure they become better footballers, but overall we want them to become better people, and we're definitely seeing that week by week.
I like when we play games with the pennies.
I just like playing soccer.
The impact goes beyond footwork. Sporting Jacks is planting seeds of self-worth and ambition in neighborhoods that need it most.
I'm pretty good at soccer.
And it's definitely what they want to see and what we want to see in the community as well.
The clinics in West Augustine are just one part of Sporting Jacks' growing community. From reading logs to teamwork drills, it's clear the impact goes well beyond the game. How awesome are those kids?
You can see with the smiles on their faces how much they're enjoying it. It's really an important part of what Sporting Jacks is trying to do within the community. Emerson, thanks so much. Well, we are excited to hear what's happening next, and if you are as well, join us for the Coaches Show. Every Tuesday at 6 on 1010XL, Mark Warburton, the head of soccer, head coach Stacey Balaam, and I talk about everything going on in the world of soccer. It's the Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. You can listen on air on 1010 AM or online at 1010XL.com. And be sure to join Mauricio, Becky, and me every Thursday night at 6 for the Sporting Jacks Soccer Hour. We cover the entire soccer world, including Sporting Jacks in the USL, Thursday nights at 6 on 930 Fox Sports Radio Jacksonville or the iHeart app. Still to come, a first for Crystal Palace. What the FA Cup win means for the Premier League club. That's next as the Sporting Jacks Report rolls on. You can watch the Sporting Jacks Report every Saturday at 12:30 on NBC 12. You can also find us on demand on First Coast News Plus and the Sporting Jacks YouTube channel. All right, we'll get more into what's going on here in terms of the Premier League season coming to an end tomorrow, but Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup, just enormous. First time they've ever had a major trophy, Mauricio.
For a club as historical as Crystal Palace to capture their first trophy against a Man City, and I mean, there's a player there in Essie that is probably one of the best players in the Premier League. He's loved by everybody, talented, and you mentioned only having one or two chances in that game. If you're gonna have a couple of chances, no one better to fall in the foot of than their top number 10 striker forward, English international as well. So kudos to them. Really good story. They do have some talent, and it's a good together team. When you watch them play, it's not surprising that they're able to get results like that, greedy results, because they're a very together team.
And nobody who's a Crystal Palace supporter is going to care if it was greedy or otherwise. It's a win, it's a trophy, and a great moment for Crystal Palace. Hey, be sure to follow us on social media for the very latest on all things Sporting Jacks. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get all the very latest from Sporting Jacks. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Sporting Jacks Report. For Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. We'll see you next week.